This is the second video clip I've done to talk about recent events in the Parliament and what I've been up to. Since I last made a recording, I hosted a very interesting lunch the last time we were in Strasbourg, where we had present a number of women, both from the Parliament and from the Commission. So we had all of the female committee chairs from our Parliament, female vice presidents, and no less than 5 women commissioners. And we were also joined by Cecilia Malmström, who is presently on behalf of Sweden chairing many of the council meetings. And the point of us meeting together as a group of women across political families and across the European institutions was to make a point that there are indeed many women in high-profile posts in the institutions, and that given that Mr. Barroso himself is now in place, he should make sure that the next Commission has a large number of females, and also with regard to the remaining 2 top jobs in Europe, that perhaps at least one of them should indeed be a woman, that there's no shortage of female talent or female candidates. So it was a great lunch, and there was a good buzz, and we've had quite a lot of publicity as a result of meeting together, and it's surely something we will do again and involve more women across the Parliament. After that, when I left Strasbourg, I actually went to the Swedish capital of Stockholm to represent our Parliament at a ministerial meeting on the Baltic Sea strategy. And that was really an important moment for our Parliament, because it was members of this Parliament that insisted on a Baltic Sea strategy to clean up this very fragile environment that has now become almost Europe's internal sea. And under pressure, the member states have agreed to this way forward, and therefore we were pleased to see it becoming a reality. But Parliament, however, wants to remain closely involved to monitor progress, and also I think will insist that there should be some new money on the table, something I'm afraid that the member states are resisting, but I think we may have the support of the Commission in that respect. So after Stockholm, a few days at home, but then I was off again to Bulgaria this time, where I was asked to participate in a conference of judges and legal professionals to talk about the new programme in the area of justice and security, and very much civil justice, known as the Stockholm programme. But Bulgaria is one of the newest member states and has at times been criticised for the insufficient progress that perhaps the judiciary and the legal system in that country has made after joining the European Union. So it was very important to me that we did collect together a group of Bulgarian judges and legal professionals who clearly showed that there are many of them in Bulgaria that are keen and enthusiastic about making European law really work. And on that basis, I think the conference was a big success and a big plus. And I also had the added pleasure or privilege of visiting the Bulgarian Parliament on behalf of our Parliament, seeing their plenary session in action, and also meeting with a number of their parliamentarians. And I think what was most important to me, we are now this year 20 years from the big changes in Europe, and we hope to celebrate that this autumn by collecting together young people who were born 20 years ago and inviting them to a celebration in Brussels. And of course they will be young people from the countries from former Eastern Europe. So I tried to help with publicity for the search for 3 young 20-year-old Bulgarians to come to the celebrations at the Parliament. And then it was finally back home to Yorkshire, and I was really pleased on Monday to visit a small primary school in my area that was celebrating the European Day of Languages. The day was actually on Saturday, but they of course did their celebrations on the Monday. making and experimenting with all sorts of different European foods. Every class was either trying to learn some French, some German or some Spanish, and again a really great atmosphere and wonderful to see staff and everybody participating. And perhaps in the sense a throwback to my visit to Bulgaria, one of the classes was doing a drama production with a replica of the Berlin Wall and explaining how terrible it was for Europe to have been divided east and west. But now, of course, we've been together for 20 years.